we're off in the Bronco. 45.2 miles. We've had the Bronco a week. We've had pretty bad weather here in Utah the last week. It's been raining a lot, and I really don't want to drive the car a whole lot until I get the whole thing wrapped in PPF, which is scheduled for about 2 weeks from now. So we've got 45 miles on the car. My wife drove it 30 something miles home from the dealer when we picked it up, and I've probably driven it a total of 2 or 3 miles since then. I think Ford did a really good job with this car, especially modeling it after the original Bronco, but there are a few things that I've already found are kind of annoying. I know I said hate, but hate is a strong word. So they're more just things to look out for if you're in the market for a Bronco, or if you have one on order, or if you're thinking about purchasing one. So I wanted to walk over those with you today and show you the 5 things that I've found. These aren't in any particular order, so we're gonna go from 5 to 1, but doesn't mean 5 I hate the least and 1 I hate the most. It's whatever I decide to talk about first. This is one thing I'll tell you that I love. The screen is massive. All right, we ready to talk about this?
Yep.
You filming?
Filming.
Okay, we're here with my 2021 Ford Bronco First Edition. This is the 2-door, and we're talking about the 5 things that I hate about the Ford Bronco. First thing is under here. If you look down here on the lower control arm, you have your lower shock mount. These bolts are just hanging down below the lower control arm. I don't know why they engineered it that way, but I can imagine that going off-road, these bolts are gonna get caught on some kind of rock or ridge and are gonna get ripped off or damaged. And if you've ever been off-roading, you know how difficult it would be to do this repair yourself while you're off-road. Maybe somebody will come out with an aftermarket part that fixes that or covers it up somehow, but that lower shock mount bolt is sticking out too far from the lower control arm, and I think that might cause some issues down the road off-road. Okay, that brings us to, wait, that was the 5th thing. This brings us to item number 4, and that has to do with the seat moving forward to get in the back seat. So on a lot of cars I've seen like this, where you have to move the seat forward to get back, it's pretty easy. They do have a nice little tab here that you pull, but the problem is when you pull the tab and pull the seat doesn't actually move, and you feel like you're gonna break the tab off if you pull any harder. So you have to use both hands, slide the seat forward, and then you can crawl through. Then you push it back and it closes. So I know that seems silly, but if you're ever in a situation where you need to open it with one hand, it's kind of hard, and I honestly feel like I'm gonna break this piece right here. So that's something that I found is kind of annoying. Hopefully we don't have to use the back seat very often.
Yeah, we're not getting a baby back there.
That brings me to item number 3, and that is being able to use the back seat to put a baby. So I'm gonna crawl back here. Now obviously this is the 2-door model, and if you were to order a 4-door Bronco, it would be much more convenient to have kids back here. We purchased this as like a fun vehicle, so it's not really our family vehicle, it's just for fun. But one thing I didn't realize is our baby sits here in a seat that is backwards. You have the roof here and the door here, which is such a small space to get in, and there's no way to reach over and put him in the car seat. So I think, yeah, there are car seat mounts back here, but
there's anchors.
Yeah, there's anchors back here. But to get the kid in here, buckled up backwards, one of us is gonna have to crawl in the back seat, put him in, buckle him up, crawl back out, close the seat, go around. So if you have kids and this is gonna be a family car, I would maybe reconsider the 2-door, unless your kids are old enough that they sit in a forward-facing seat or they can buckle themselves. But if you have young kids or infants, this is a pretty inconvenient setup to be able to put kids in the back seat. Moving around to the back of the car, we're going to talk about the tailgate. I lost my words. If any of you have done YouTube, you know sometimes it's hard to talk on camera. So back here on the tailgate, one thing that we found is annoying is, first of all, the tailgate doesn't just glide open on its own. It's not an easy open.
And it's super heavy.
When it gets to this point, it's pretty heavy. And I don't know if heavy's the right word, but it's almost as if it's getting stuck on something. I don't know if it's because it's new, but it gets stuck halfway and then it finally opens.
But then it's still not opened all the way.
But then it's not open all the way. You can open it even more.
It's like this right here is tight or something.
So I can kind of see why it does that. I mean, it would prevent it from just swinging all the way open and hitting something, but it gets kind of annoying when you have to open it.
Kind of
and
stops.
It kind of gets stuck and stops. Then you got to pull it again. Gets stuck. That is annoying. And then you got to push it all the way open. So maybe there's a reason behind that. If you know why, comment below. I don't know why they made it like that, but in the few times that we've used it, see, and now it's just swinging when I don't want it to. In the few times that we've used it, we have found that to be a little annoying. I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker on the car by any means, but it is one of those little quirks that just is weird. Closing it is easy though. Before we get to number one, this is gonna be a little bonus one. My wife's laughing at me because this is only something that would bother me. But if you look at the roof up here, the hardtop goes across and it's got a slight bump right here. I feel like these should be lined up straight, don't you think?
I don't know. I wouldn't even think twice about it.
It's just, I have a little OCD and it kind of bothers me. But maybe it's not supposed to be like that. Maybe it is supposed to be flat and mine is messed up.
Or maybe for like aerodynamics.
Yeah, this is to go fast. Anyway, there's a little bonus one. Okay, we are back on the inside of the Bronco for item number one. And I just think this is silly. So Ford created all these modes. They called GOAT modes. I think it stands for go over any terrain or go over all terrain. This is where you also select 2 high, 4 high, all that. But for the off-road modes, it's pretty cool that you turn the dial. Not gonna lie, I think that's really cool. But if you look up here in the screen, can you see over there? Here, let's zoom in a little bit. So, I'm gonna have my wife turn the dial. We have normal mode, eco mode, slippery, mud and ruts, sand, Baja, and rock crawl mode. The one that we are missing is sport mode. Why did they not put sport mode in the first edition model? I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, I've been told that the lower model Ford Broncos, some of them have sport mode. Now, they don't all have Baja mode, which is a really cool mode. It's made for high-speed off-roading. It takes off traction control, similar to the Baja mode that I have in my Raptor. But for everyday driving, I think sport mode's really fun. It keeps your RPMs high. It shifts a little more aggressively. I know this is only a 2.7 liter EcoBoost with the turbo, but it's still pretty peppy for how small the car is. It's got 330 horsepower, and I think that it should have a sport mode. So that is number one. And America, baby. That is gonna do it for today. Those are the 5 things that I hate or am annoyed with on my new Ford Bronco. Again, if you're considering buying one, those are kind of some things to think about. Don't know if it'll sway your decision. I honestly still love this car. I think it looks so cool. It drives really nice, has plenty of power, and I can't wait to take it off-road and put it through the limits. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please smash the like button and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.